record. I'm on this brand new MacBook, so I can't even tell y'all how this is going to function right now. But thank you, Herbalife, for letting me upgrade one time. But it's a lot of things that I want to discuss today. But I also want to do this. Herbalife is about creating leaders. Herbalife is about duplicating yourself. And one thing, Rachel, she about to turn up. Rachel, at that time, I didn't ask Rachel. I know you be ready to give life, but just give me like 2 minutes, and we gonna let y'all loose. But I really have to realize that this business is about becoming great yourself, but it's also about duplicating greatness. It's a lot of times we as leaders and members, we kind of forget what the purpose is and how to become successful in Herbalife. And it's not self-succession. It's about who can you get to be great? Who can you get to succeed you? And who can you get to, be an amazing Herbalife member? Because then the duplication is going to be just the same with that person. So I have a lot of people on my team who are in the transition of becoming great leaders themselves and, taking over and, qualifying for promotions and all of these things. And I really want to give the time to a few people right now who are, approaching that active world team status, which is that leadership status, and people who have put in a lot of time and energy into this organization. I really want to give them a little bit of time right now to share with you all tips of things that they do on a daily basis to become successful. And I'm talking about things that they did from senior consultant all the way up to world team where they are now, which a lot of people are trying to get there. And then also, which I think is a very, very important, things not to do. Like, if a lot of people feel like they know what's best sometimes, and a lot of times people feel like their ideas are better or things that they've tried just did not work. Those things we learn from sometimes. So I really want to give the floor to some of our leaderships to see what they have for us as far as information goes. You all can unmute yourself. I won't call anybody out, but whoever wants to go first can go. Kylando is up.
All right, we're going to kind of split it up. Kylie will kind of just touch on a few things, and then I'll kind of touch on a few different things, but then end with the what not to do aspect of things. So go ahead.
Well, by the way, we're Kylando, currently world team, soon to be active world team soon, hopefully. Yes.
We will.
We will be. So one thing that is really important, just being in the business 2 years now, is that new solves all, not becoming dependent on your current even frontline or your current supervisors, or just always just finding new people. And the other thing is to always show up. We obviously always talk about keys being going to events, but even to show up to the weekly events that your team is having. So for example, we have Saturday, we have shake parties, except when they're events, but to even have our team show up, we have it as a central place for them to have someone to invite someone to, but to always have them show up even if they don't have people coming with them. Because we've had people come where it's just been a few of us members, and just to sit and talk with each other and try and grow relationships that way, grow as a team, see what their next steps are. So even if they don't have people coming, to still show up to those events are really key too.
Yes. And then this kind of will tie into what not to do, but I'm going to kind of speak on two key things to being a successful member / coach. One is to build relationships and also to build trust. Basically what I had noted down here was care for your valued, in quotes, clients. Show and speak to them with value. That goes a part of the building relationship aspect. Kind of like, I mean, we did change up that verbiage. I think it was last year. We were calling them just clients, I believe, on shout outs, and then it got switched to valued clients. And that's kind of right when it clicked to us, like, yes, like, show value into the new people and don't just, kind of toss them to the side. And that kind of ties with what I noted here is when you get retail. So when you get a new client, don't be finished there. We're not looking for fast cash. That won't last, basically. So So just because you get that quick retail in your pocket doesn't mean that you're done working. Basically, now it's time to know a little bit about them. If you haven't spoke to them during the process of getting them on a plan, but then kind of picking into know a little bit more. You just don't want to end with that, because I mean everybody knows a little bit of money here and there. You end up spending it, especially if you got it with you and then it's gone anyways. So basically just be patient and trust the process, trust the Herbalife process. And, as we can see, everybody's always getting recognized, and it all just ties together, that we're starting to find out with this 2 years being in the business that, it's all about relationships. That's how you're going to be able to build. And that's how you're going to keep people. So care for everybody that you get on the plan, even those that that just get a shake or a tea, because you never know. You never know. Just be genuine.
That's it. You done? All right, appreciate you very much for that insightful information. I'm telling you guys, you want to take notes. You want to make sure that you're following people who are successful, because I'm pretty sure everybody on here would like to do 8,000 volume points in a month. I'm pretty sure. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of dinners. That's a lot of snacks for Polar. That's a lot of, turn up tea. It's a lot of stuff that can happen when you do 8,000 volume points, So I definitely would take the information that that they tell you. And yep, that's so many lives. That's lives being impacted, and you guys don't even know. A lot of times that ain't even just really money in their pocket. That's other people that are able to earn income as well. So you're actually helping people with their health and their pockets. Can't beat that. So anyone else? I think is Rhonda.
Hey guys, I'm a current Roll Team member. Great job, Kylie. Great job, Orlando. Stephen, thank you for this call. For myself, it was a quote that I heard from Garen Jones at our last JKO. And it was, it's easy for people to quit when they don't have a connection. And for me, being in this organization from the beginning, like super, super beginning, when it was just like 2 people on a call, we didn't know what we were doing, we were kind of figuring it out. I can honestly say to myself, about a couple of months ago, I kind of checked out a little bit, kind of in and out, here and there. And my team was kind of going in the same direction. It was up, it was down. And it's just like, those things are going to happen. People may not have a connection to the business. They may not have a connection to something, and they may do it. But as soon as things get hard, they may check out, and that's something that you have to understand. You may have to just talk to them, reach out to them, but you can't force anybody. That's the biggest lesson that I've learned so far in the business, is that you can't force anybody to do this business. You get the information to them, you get, the information, the knowledge, let them know where things are, and then you leave it there. Don't force anybody, don't hold anybody's hand. We're all leaders, we're all independent distributors at the end of the day. You have to be able to figure it out for yourself and kind of want it for yourself. So for me, I think that was my biggest, I guess you can say, nugget for going into this new year. It was just don't baby anybody. Definitely always stay plugged in for yourself. Lead from the front. So if they see you going to events, if they see you talking on calls, they see you doing volumes, having parties, whatever the case may be, they're either going to join you or they're just going to continue to watch. But you can't stress yourself out about it and go crazy about people who aren't doing the business. You have to continue to be that leader and always lead from the front.
Thank you very much, Rhonda. And I believe Brittany says she's feeling under the weather. So I'll give you guys, from my personal perspective, I've been in the business for almost 3 years. And for those of you who don't really know and weren't in the business when, back in 2014, 2013, I'll give you guys a rundown of a little bit about my story. I guess that's a good place for me to go. A little bit about my story, because a lot of you are new and you really don't know. I'm not going to get into the full thing. But before Herbalife, me personally, I just moved from Wisconsin to California and just in search of just more opportunity and just something better. And the first month was absolutely horrible for me. I didn't find much of anything. Personal training at a gym 30 minutes away. I felt like I was just wasting my time and I was overcharging people. Then I went to the library to print out a resume because I was going to get a desk job, even though I despised that. I was going to actually just try and get a desk job with my degree. And I met Super Mario leaving the library, and he stopped me. And this is one thing I tell you all. Being online is awesome, and it's a way for you to reach a massive amount of people. But Super Mario has tab team members, and he didn't meet any of them online. He met me in person in the library. He grew up with Terrence. Marcus is his brother. And Kyra is somebody he met playing football with, and he talked to them about the business. All of his successful people are people that he actually met and had, what Rhonda said, that connection. You can't quit on, when you actually are emotionally connected to something. So if you're not emotionally connected to Herbalife and you're just connected to volume or you're just connected to money, and when it doesn't happen, like you said, you're easily going to fade off the business when it's not popular for you, when it's not popping for you. And a reason why I stayed is because I was really emotionally connected because I have a relationship with Super Mario. He's like one of my best friends now. And so it's, Terrence Harkless. We all talk to each other on a daily basis. No matter what the volume is like, no matter what the succession is like, we have a relationship. And whenever I have some of my worst months or whenever I have some of my best months, the relationship don't change. Their attitude towards me never changes. And we're able to grow together. So he built that relationship with me when I was in the library, and he never assumed that I was going to be great. He never assumed that I wasn't going to be. He just said, this is what you have. You have an opportunity of a lifetime to create the opportunity of a lifetime if you choose. You can go as fast as you want, or you can take your time if you like. All you have to do is show up to the meetings, take the products, and get people to do the same thing. I was like, you know what? I got to get it. So, for me, I set my goals very high from the beginning. Not even goals that I think that were obtainable, but goals that I would like to reach. I didn't know that they were going to, for me in the first year, I didn't know that I was going to be able to obtain what I did in the first year of the business. But guess what? I didn't set my goals to senior consultant in the first year of the business. I didn't set my goals to qualified producer. And in fact, when I heard the marketing plan, I said, I need to get to meal team. In the first 3 years of the business, that's what I said. And I was like, you know what, Active World Team, I'm going to do that as fast as you can do it. Supervisor, I'm going to do it as fast as I can do it. World Team, I'm going to do it as fast as I can do it. That was my goal. I didn't do Supervisor as fast as I could do it because you can do it in 1 month. But I did Supervisor in 3 weeks. I did World Team in 2 months. I did Active World Team in 6 months. Global Expansion Team in 11 months. And it wasn't by accident. It was because I said to myself, I want everything that this company has to offer. 2.5 global expansion team in less than 2 years is a big deal. But I'll tell you guys, it just didn't fall into my lap. I just didn't luck up and, get the pen and get the money. I've sacrificed a lot. Like I tell you guys, I never missed a meeting. I never missed a call. I asked my upline, what do I have to do to get to where you are? Some of you have never even, reached out and say, listen, I want to do this the best of that to my abilities. What do I have to do? And if you're somebody who gets told what you have to do and you decide that you don't want to do it, then it's totally on you if you succeed or not. And if you're stuck, it's because you're probably not doing the things that the leaders told you to do. It's a progressive process. If you're bringing in 1 or 2 new members every month, there's no way that your volume does not, move. Personal consumption and downline consumption. You can get a good 1,000 volume points that aren't even yours. So this is one quote that I was actually out here. Every time I come to the Bay Area, I hang out with my friend, Millionaire Team member, Mohammed Nitoto. And what he said to me was, everybody has a goal. People have goals for days, but what's your plan to achieve the goal? And I thought, like, dog, there are so many times people like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like if Kylie and Orlando, just giving the example because I just saw their latest ones, 8,500 volume points, that's a goal. But then you say to yourself, what are you going to do to get that? Or what are you trying to do to get that? If at the beginning of the month you declare 5K, what are you going to do to get 5K? Yeah. Are you just declaring it and you hope that you land at 5K? That's like getting in the car and saying, I'm gonna go to Texas, but then you don't put the directions in the GPS. You have no direction on how to get there, but you're just like, I'm going to get there. So you just drive around forever. And maybe you land there, or maybe you land in Wyoming. But if you give yourself a direction, you get there a whole lot faster. So the moral of everything is, if you have a goal, you have to have a plan to go along with that goal, or else you're going to be chasing nothing. You're chasing your tail. So if you have a goal of 2,500 and you don't know how to plan out actually how to get to 2,500, talk to somebody who's done it before. Figure out what they're doing. Give yourself a plan of action on what you're doing during a daily basis. I know somebody like Rhonda hit me up and be like, this is what my plan is. Does it look good? Is this good enough for me to get what I said I want to get? And then I'll be honest. If it is, yep, as long as you do it. Or if it's not, I'm like, numbers don't add up. You want to do 5K, but then you say you only want to bring in 2 members, and you only want to do 20. You only want to do 1,000 personally purchased volume points, but you don't have any new members and moving up the marketing plan. That doesn't add up to 5K. So you have to know exactly where you're going and exactly how you're going to get there. If you're claiming a supervisor, know what you're going to do to get the supervisor. And everybody, I honestly say, everybody who signs up, their goal should be hitting supervisor. It only makes sense to get 50% off for the products. Even if you never want to touch the business, it only makes sense to get 50% off of your products. And then for people who just so happen to every now and then want to get some products, you get 50% commission. It only makes sense. Why would you not? Why would you want to just say, I'm cool with 25%? Never have I ever went to a store and said, 50% off. Nah, I'm cool. I'm just going to go to the store with 25%. You're going to go where you get the biggest discount. So here, the biggest discount is 50%. So why not go get that? All it is this is what I tell you. Look at your volume. And if your volume isn't at least like 150, 200 volume points every month, you're not personally consuming enough products, first and foremost, yourself. If you want to take pride in your business, you're going to be consuming lots of products. Imagine the CEO of Nike wearing nothing but Adidas, buying nothing but Adidas, not even consuming his own product, not even buying his own product. That's what happens when you sign up for Herbalife and then you go and buy other shampoos or other conditioners or other soaps or other facial creams or other, workout protein and pre-workouts and all this stuff. That's what happens when you support other companies. You're an Herbalife member, so everything that you use in your house, why not use Herbalife? You get a discount and you get volume for it. Like I tell you guys all the time, I'm essentially in February, I'm going to keep track of everything, all my personal orders. And I'm going to show you guys how much I spend on volume for myself. I came out here to the Bay Area and I think I ordered like 200 volume point order between like bars, some protein drink mix, some lift off, some prolong for the gym out here. And next thing you know, it's 200 volume points. It didn't even have any shakes involved. Didn't even have any tea or tablets involved. That order was last week. So like they were saying, always take that retail money that you get and use a little bit of it to put back into your business. So, that's my biggest thing. If you want to see success in this business, find somebody who's successful and do what they do. You have to copy this. What they say, success leaves clues. Leaders follow leaders. Successful people follow successful people. If you want to have a check for $150,000 like Garen Jones, you got to do the things Garen Jones does. Sit up here right now and tell me $150,000 on a check next week. It doesn't sound perfect. This guy, Garen Jones, posted 6 checks that he forgot he had in his back. Y'all saw that post? 6 checks that he didn't even know he had in his backpack, totaling 4 different salaries. That had to be at least $80,000, $90,000. At least. And we shaking our heads like, That's crazy. But guess what? It's possible for everybody on this call. Some of us are scared to be made fun of. Some of us may be scared that people aren't going to accept what we do. Some of us are afraid that people are going to wake us up when we're on the call. Hey, Rachel, hey. Some of us are afraid of what.
It was frozen.
Oh, shoot. I was like, Rachel is knocked out. I was like, I know I wasn't the only one.
Sent me a screenshot. I was like, I'm not sleeping. It's like froze.
You know, I was like, she must have took some sleep right now.
No.
All right, cool. But you really have to decide like what it is that you want to get out of this company, and you have to not care what anybody thinks. People made fun of me when I first started. My mom did too. Y'all see where she's at right now? Supervisor, going to events, texting me all emotional, talking about she wants to be more involved. But you got to be the first one. You got to be the first. You got to be the best client. You got to be the best member. You got to show up to everything, and even if you're the only person, I still don't have anybody going to STS for me in LA. I got clients out here, people giving me excuses every single month. But guess what? I'm not going to stop going because I ain't got nobody there. 2 years, I don't have anybody consistently going with me when Rob left. That doesn't mean I'm not going to go. Guess what? I'm a production lead. I'm on stage lots of times. I'm involved, so I can't not go. And if I ever want to say, Kylie, Orlando, Brittany, Rhonda, and everybody else who's close to STS, if I ever want to tell them to be a part of the actual production of STS, and I'm not, then that gives me no right. I've been a part of STS for 2 years now, and they promoted me to a lead, and I've been a lead over STS for a month. And this is LA. We talking press team on press team on press team on press team on press team out here. And they trust me to be a lead and put me on stage quite often. And that's what I want to duplicate. But as members and leaders of an amazing company, you all have to want something for yourself. Whether it's just to earn that 50% or whether it's to earn that $50,000. You have to set a goal for yourself and then ask your uplines and ask your people of succession, what do you have to do to get there? I see a lot of people, up and down, in the business, and when their volume is not there, they're not there. You guys will probably never be able to tell that I have low volume months or high volume months. You'll probably never be able to tell which is which, because I'm going to be the same person as much as I can be, as much as humanly possible. I'm going to be the same kind of person that I, whether I'm doing 20,000 or whether I'm doing 2,000. I want to always show up. So my thing is this. You have an opportunity right now. There is the only person that's responsible for your success and how much of it is yourself. Whether you decide to build a team or whether you decide to do it by yourself, it's all up to you. It's not you can't blame anybody else. You can't say, as much as I have conversations with Muhammad out here about the business, I have to tell him some stuff. I'm like, you're talking about switching uplines because you want to get more focused. My upline ain't got nothing to do with my success. To be honest, I'll let you guys know. Super Mario, he just started these supervisor calls a couple of months ago. Before that, I didn't get any training from him. I didn't get any one-on-ones. The only call we had was Garen's call on Mondays. That's the only call I ever had. And the meeting, the HOMs and all of that stuff, before we had our nutrition club, we didn't have any of that in the Inland Empire where I'm at right now. But all I had was those books that you get when you first sign up. I had Garen's YouTube videos. I see Orlando watches a lot of Garen's stuff a lot of times. A lot of his stuff that he has on his YouTube page. I just watched that stuff and I was inspired because there's no way that you could tell me I had the same opportunity as Garen Jones and I'm not going to take it. or How to Tame Opportunity in Super Mario. Super Mario has been making $24,000 for the last 2 years. Life changing. And sometimes we have to say, y'all know, I'm going to tell y'all a secret about who my new personal development person is. Y'all ain't even going to believe it. DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled, he's goofy. And sometimes he sounds retarded, but he be dropping nuggets, major keys as he calls them. And I follow his Snapchat, and I'm like, man, this guy, sometimes he be saying some real stuff. Because a lot of times, you know what, we'll have people say, oh, this person doesn't want to do it for the money, or, you know, this person's not interested in the money. And I remember listening to DJ Khaled, and he's like, people got to eat, right? Food costs money. So people can't say money doesn't matter, because you need money to survive. So if you're trying to tell us that money is never an issue, that's trying to say you really don't care if you eat or not. And I was like, let me think about this. He's actually right. Because if you don't care about money, there's some things that survival-wise you need money to survive. You need a roof over your head, you need your bills paid, and you need to put food on the table. All those things cost money. So money matters. So if somebody tells you money doesn't matter, then they're lying. Because money matters. Money can't buy you happiness. They're lying. They're probably unhappy. Because one thing that I've noticed is, you know, the biggest cause of relationships, and I'm not just talking about between, you know, two people who are actually together. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about family relationships. The biggest cause of breakups in any kind of relationship is money. Not having enough money in the household. Arguing over owed money. People owing money. What's the biggest problem we have in the United States? Money, debt. So money matters in every aspect. So if you're telling somebody that you can not have to worry so much, because you got to understand, let me see what Rachel said. We try to start Brian Holyfield and his season, how long it took him to get one person. Yeah, I'll touch on that right after this. But you got to understand, when people tell me that they don't want to do it for the money, that tells me something about the value that they have on themselves. Because if I tell you I'm just going to give you an extra $1,000 a month to just be healthy and get other people healthy, you cannot say, nah, I'm good, I don't want it. Money absolutely matters. Now, what Rachel asked me to talk about is for those of you all who don't understand how the succession of business works, you have to grow an organization in order to be successful in Herbalife, right? Some of us can do it a lot faster than others. And we were just talking on the call previous to this about downline members. And some people maybe only having like 1 or 2 downline members. And then so other people having more. You have to be in a position to want to always get new members every month. And if you all don't know who Brian Holyfield is, Brian Holyfield is a 20K executive president's team member, meaning he makes a nice living. And, you know, and I'll tell you some of the things he's been able to accomplish. You know, he's retired his mom, moved her to Las Vegas, and she hasn't spent $1 of her own money in over 2 years now. He retired her. He has an account that, you know, money from his Herbalife check every single month goes into her account. And she lives in Las Vegas off of that. You know, hasn't had to make her own. Like, who wants to do that for their mom first and foremost, or somebody that they love? Wouldn't that be nice? So you know what? When Brian Holyfield found this opportunity, first off, African Americans or, you know, even people of the Hispanic descent weren't really in Herbalife because it was, you know, it was created by, people like, you know, Mark Hughes and of that ethnic background. And it wasn't really diverse yet. So he came into the company, you know, he talked to a lady, Heather Schwartz, and you know, he got invited to see what the opportunity was. And he pretty much looked at his mom and saw that she was really being broken down from working too much. And he really wanted to do something about it. And then when he found out he could do that with Herbalife, talk about goals, right? He said, in 2 years, I'm going to retire my mom. Hadn't made $1 with Herbalife yet, but he saw the possibilities. And he's like, what I'm doing now, I'm not going to be able to do anything for my mom. But in Herbalife, I see all of these successful people in this room. I'm going to retire my mom in 2 years. But he didn't just say that. He had a plan. He had a number of flyers he's going to give out every day. He had a number of people he wanted to invite to SDS. And he had a number of people he wanted to talk to every day, 20 people a day. So he went to the Santa Monica stairs at 9 a.m. every morning, Monday through Friday, and talked to 20 people, handed out 20 flyers every single day. And you want to know how many people he was having at the events? 0. He had 0 people show up, 0 people sign up for almost 10 months. But he still was sitting VIP at SDS. He's doing his 70, or I think it was 5,000 volume points then. Then it became 7,500. But he was still doing VIP numbers with no people in the room. Being that person first, doing high volume, 20,000 volume points, 15,000 volume points. He didn't know who was going to come along. And then guess who came 9 months later? A guy who was living out of his car, who was looking for an opportunity, and he took the opportunity like just off of a whim, just because he wanted to go prove that it really wasn't what it said it was. He wanted to go prove that, to his girlfriend at the time, that what he was doing really wasn't working. So he goes down and this guy by the name of Garen Jones goes to an event with Brian Holyfield, goes into a building where people essentially just give him so much love that he hasn't been getting the previous years. He tries a shake, falls in love with the shake, and they told him, hey, listen, you can sign up and you can make a crazy amount of income by impacting a crazy amount of lives. And from that point on, Brian Holyfield introduces the world to Garen Jones, and Garen Jones takes the F off. I'm talking, he came back the next day, senior consultant. The next day came back qualified producer. And then the next day, he was like, what do I got to do to get supervisor? Okay, I'll get that tomorrow. I think it was like 10 days he took him to get the supervisor. And the thing is, guess what would have happened if Brian would have just said, man, after 5 or 6 months, this is not working out. 6, 7, 8 months, even 8 months, right before he met Garen. What if he would have said, this isn't for me. It's been almost a year. I don't have anybody at the event. I quit. Then we don't get Garen Jones. Then the Herbalife is pretty much not the same. Like, seriously, Garen has a crazy way of impacting this entire company. But how many of you out there have given up and not done, face-to-face, or not followed your 90-day plan and may have missed out on your Garen Jones? You got to be ready every day. We all can raise our hand. We've all not been ready at a certain point in time in the month. We just didn't do anything for about a week. And that day you didn't go out and do something, that day you didn't go out and talk to people, even though you felt like, I got to do it, but it ain't been working, so I'm not going to go do it today. You may have missed the person who was looking for what you have. You very well may have passed up on your own Mark Hughes or Garen Jones or Brian Holyfield or Super Mario. You never know. What if Super Mario doesn't go to the library that day to just be out? Then he doesn't find me, and then we don't have this. So no matter how long it takes you, just realize all you need is one to really get you rolling. You think that from Brian Holyfield, all the months and the days that he spent out there, you think he regrets it now? Probably not. When the 15th come and the 20th come, oh, shoot. Thank you, Garen. Thank you. Thousands of, you can't even, man. I get so excited when I hear about the amount of impact that they're making and the lifestyle that they're able to have. But I think it all boils down to this. You can't make anybody do this. It's got to be something within you that wakes you up on a daily basis to say, I got to do more today. Look at your volume and be like, that's not enough. So look at the amount of people that you're impacting within your organization and say, I got to do better. Tara Malia, 7.5 millionaire team member, asked me what the difference is between my growth now versus last year. And I said, I think last year, toward the end of the year, I really had to, as a man, humble myself and say, I need to learn, I need to get better. And I went through a period of doing more personal development. I went through a period of being a more positive person. But you have to first recognize and realize when you have to be better. You have to recognize and realize when you messed up. And I don't even know if anybody really remembers when I had to just apologize to my entire team because I was leading my team down a path in a direction to where we were just like going to crash and burn. We weren't growing together. We weren't doing things together. It was all for self. It was all for glorification of self. And I just had to say, that's not what's going to make us special. Because all these Presidents team members, they get on stage and they start crying. And they cry because they know the things that them and their people went through. They get on stage and they cry because of the emotional connection they have to their team. And they can sit there and name all the stories from what them and their team had to go through. It's not about what they personally had to go through. It's about the late nights and the hours spent. Y'all don't even know what we did to get the Active World team. I think the only person on here know is Rhonda. Up to 11:59. ELM. Putting in volume, texting, calling, like, somebody put in an order. And I think it finally went through at like 12:01 and they let us count it. Like 10,005 volume points or something. But we all grew together from that situation. Granted, I would never want to go down to the wire like that again for a cut. But the fact that people were fighting together for us to get to Active World Team, for us to go to the next level, they took pride. And that's one thing that I'll never take away from Rhonda. No matter how her success is, it always was about team. It was always about the team succeeding. What can I offer to the team? Even if I'm not doing crazy high volume, what value can I add to the team? What can I help with? And if we get 5 or 10 people that same way, there's no stopping where we can go as an organization. That's when you look at Garrett's organization, look at all the people that he has contributing on so many different levels. So that's really what we wanted to touch on is get some goals, get a vision, but get a plan. And dream big. For Christ's sake, dream big. There's so much out there for us. There's so many things for us to do. But let Herbalife take you there. Allow Herbalife to take over. You have to be what we call truly Herbalized. Everything I do revolves around Herbalife. And people will look at me and they'll laugh. But guess what? Who cares? I'm able to take care of my family with this. I haven't had a full-time job in 2 years. 2 years. I've been able to do Herbalife, nothing but Herbalife. Travel all over the place. I've been in the Bay Area for almost a week now, and I'm still making money out here. Still, I'm still earning income. I'm still able to take care of my business. You have to be willing to say, I don't care what nobody thinks about me. First and foremost, Herbalife is probably the best thing to happen to the world because it's about positivity. It's about success. It's about making the world and people, better. People who are really and truly in Herbalife, you can't say that you've not become a better person, a better leader. Learned a lot about yourself doing this. So with that being said, we have a few more minutes on here. We just want to see if anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns before we get up off of here. Turn up. Who's that? Hey.
Yeah. I kind of have like a mini success, awesome, exciting story. So I've kind of expressed in some of the chats and to everyone how it was hard to get my mom consistent in her products and her plan, and she started getting consistent and getting results when we had our 21-day challenge in November. So she's been consistent since then, and since we started the 90-day challenge January 4th, with the posts on Monday, and she hasn't been doing the workouts because she doesn't want to, but that's her own choice. But posting on Mondays and everything, she's had a lot of people interested, and she's had a lot of her. She lives on a farm in good old North Dakota, so she's had a lot of like the farmer wives and different men asking, kind of like, "Oh, what's Herbalife? I think I want to lose some weight." So my mom, first off, is always asking for a coupon code because we made the mistake of giving it to her one time. So every time she's about to order, she's like, "Oh, what's the coupon code?" I'm like, "No," because we've talked to her about being a member and she doesn't want to. So whatever. So she asked us last time and we said no, but then she had all these people interested. So it turned out last week, she had like 3 or 4 people that were she was directing to me and that I was kind of creating plans with and talking to. And my mom's just like so excited, like, "Oh, what are they getting? What are they getting?" So she had went and set up herself on Friday afternoon to go to this lady that lives down the road from her farm, and brought her 4 different samples of shakes, brought her all this tea, brought her bottles of tabs that she like loves and has finally fallen in love. And so she had them in baggies. She was like, "Is that okay? Should I bring the shake canister?" She sat with this lady for 4 hours. This lady has 2 twins of her own, has actually like joked with my mom about opening a club out there. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And she's like this single mom, or not a single mom, a stay-at-home mom, I mean. So she's like, "I'm bored all the time." She does ab workouts all the time. She needs protein. So like it turned into this awesome thing. I talked to her tonight. She ordered, her husband loved the shakes, which she was surprised with. So my mom's just like so excited, and so we said like we'll give her each of her referrals, we'll just discount her from those. And she's like, "Oh, well, soon I'm gonna be at 100%. I'm like, "Okay, Mom." So anyways, it was really exciting.
Oh, that's awesome. But we're gonna have to get Mom. We got to get her together and say, "Mom, listen, we got to get you to sign up."
I know, I try.
You can't be having 5-hour tea times and not be a member. You gotta.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
But
for
sooner
sure.
or later, she gonna come around.
Right.
Sooner or later.
That's awesome. Anybody else with any?
Hey, Steven, what's DJ Khaled's Snapchat name?
DJ Khaled.
That's it? Okay, cool.
Major keys all the time.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I'm like, I got a newfound respect for DJ Khaled, man.
That's what's up.
All right. Anybody else with any questions, comments, or success stories or anything that they want to share before we get off of here? I'm looking. It's a lot of people's videos I can't see. We have nobody, which is absolutely okay. All right, y'all. So EOM is tomorrow. As people, you see those people walk by me, say hey. EOM is tomorrow. For anybody who doesn't know, we do volume to the end tomorrow, midnight. All of our orders. I usually on EOM, I like to put in all the orders myself. I don't really like to direct people to my Herbalife site because then you got to call in, you got to get orders flipped around and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But tomorrow is the last day to do volume for January. Let me see. Cool. What? Khaled? What? Hold on. No. Somebody help her out. There we go. I know that's what it sounds like. DJ Khaled. That's what it is. Very successful man out here to give you major keys, and he tells you about they all the time. If you find out about they, post in our group, let us know what he tells you about they. They don't want you to win. They don't want you to be successful. So we're going to be successful anyways. So if nobody has anything, I'm going to stop